Let us now proceed towards some industry presentations where India's leading companies will showcase their work and how it has the potential to transform the higher education space in India. I would now invite Mr. Ankit Aggarwal, founder and CEO Unstop, who will talk about enhancing employability. So can we give Mr. Ankit Aggarwal a huge round of applause, please?
Hi. Thank you so much, Observe Now, for inviting us. My talk will primarily be around bigger numbers rather than me giving you any gyan. I think I'm too young for that. What I would want you to analyze is bigger numbers, and then I'll come to in terms of how can we solve this huge problem. Right? Unstop is in the space of community engagement and hiring. Right? So let me come down and give you a... This is not working. Yeah. Can anybody take a shot what this number stands for? Anybody? Sorry?
You had.
Number I had. I wish. Opportunities, no. Anybody else? With respect to students. Sorry? Place 2 completed students. This number is basically students who pass out every year. Across all domains, UG, PG, this is the number of students that pass out. Now let's go to the other number, 4 crore 14 lakh. Anybody wants to take a shot at this number? Correct. So this is basically total enrollments in higher education as of today. Massive, massive numbers across UG and PG. And what's more exciting, anybody would want to take a shot at this number, 50% of 4 crore, which is 2 crores. These are girls enrolled in our Indian education system across UG and PG. Right? And this is data from All India Higher Education Survey. I have not made it up, right? This is Indian government giving you data. The next is 52%. So 50 is the overall number enrolled. 52% students from 95 that pass out at UG level are girls, which is about 37 lakh girls. Right? Very, very huge numbers. And now, what is this number? 5,000. No, colleges would be maybe another zero, 50,000 or so. No. These are companies that hire from campuses across India. At this point in time, 5,000 plus companies go to any campus personally to connect and hire students. Right? And I'm just saying across UG and PG. And when any company is going and they have a requirement to hire, they themselves can, majority of them are only able to reach out to 1,000 students. This is the number that we got when we interviewed close to about 1,000 companies. That without any help, their internal HR team can only reach out to 1,000 students across levels. Imagine this is 0.0001% of all students in India. I'm just giving you problems from the company's perspective and your perspective as well. And even if I say that only 10% of them are employable, which is your next hypothesis, right? Then also this number comes to only 0.001%. You get it? The point that I'm driving is that we have 5,000 companies who are today engaging with campuses to hire. We have 4 crore students across campuses enrolled, but we are not able to match them because everybody is doing it in silos. Companies cannot go to all campuses because of their restrictions, and thankfully so. the students and the colleges, all the educators in the room are also not able to reach out to all companies. The problem is that everybody is eyeing top talent, but not the right talent that they need. If you were able to connect, and across these 5,000 companies, possibly they might be recruiting maybe, let's say, 40 lakh, 50 lakh students all across. Not all, right? Only 95 lakh pass out, right? But many companies do engagement with these students who are still in their first year, second year, third year for internships, for basically having those brand presence, but still they are not able to reach out to all of them. You get it? And then the solution that we basically went ahead with were engagements, gamified engagements, where we are asking companies, can you open your doors to every student in India rather than from a select list of institutes, and hire the best rather than from the select list of institutes. So generally what happens is every company have their benchmarks. If there is a platform on which they can actually reach out to as many students as possible, the filtration happens basis their skill sets, and then they eventually hire. I'll just talk about this example where Walmart wanted to recruit 100 female coders. They were only able to recruit 50 female coders according to their threshold. They went to their set of campuses, were only able to recruit 50. And then they basically said that this is the first time where we are okay opening our doors to pretty much all students, all female candidates, female coders across India, and would Unstop you be able to help us out? Imagine 51,000 female coders applied for just one opportunity across all campuses in India. And what happened was that everything from their hiring funnel point of view, the MCQ, the coding challenge, the interviews, everything happened on the platform, so that they are also able to track how many candidates are moving on to which level and finally for the interviews. In the end, they recruited 160 female coders, 160, which is 1.6x of what they intended to do and about 4x of what they wanted to recruit initially. And the girls that were recruited, I'm not sure if it's visible, these are the people who have hired, right? Whom they have hired. These are from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 10. All institutes combined. Doesn't matter. If there is a candidate who has some skill that can be evaluated and that meets the threshold of the recruiter, they are happy to take them in. And this is not a new concept. Trust me, in US and the West, this is what they thrive on. Colleges don't guarantee placements, right? And similarly, if you basically see all colleges that Walmart hired from were all across India, right? They are so happy, and let me tell you, Walmart with this, what happened was that their interview to hiring ratio also decreased. Earlier, they were interviewing 8 people to hire 1. With this, they only interviewed 3 people to hire 1. Their internal resources are also getting optimized. And which, this is a good ROI for them, good ROI for you, because at least you have opportunities to now get into these companies. On the other hand, Flipkart, registration numbers, right? This is live. 3.5 lakh students across India. And you can actually open up Unstop. You'll be able to see these numbers. These are live numbers. Have right now applied to get into Flipkart. 24 pass outs and I think 23 as well. Correct? Now the idea is that here it is open to all engineering guys. And what happens is it's a very, very simple process for all students. And the other thing is it's free of cost. The company, the student doesn't have to pay. The college doesn't have to pay. The college doesn't have to interact even with the recruiter. Right? It happens in an automatic manner. The Amazon did it for B schools. They wanted to go and recruit management trainees, so basically they opened their doors to a huge list of B schools, and from there they did that engagement and recruited. Tata's, right? This was the first time where Tata Sons said that We are now opening our doors to pretty much every student in India, either arts, commerce, humanities, MBA, engineering. Everybody can get into the prestigious program called Tata Administrative Services, which is like an IPS kind of a program in private companies, right? And then what happens is that now we will be rolling out very soon a dashboard for colleges to track their students, right? And it's, again, it's free of cost. And that's why you wouldn't have seen an email from us that please hop on to us or pay us something, because our intention is to make money from employers. Very simple. Accenture, on the other hand, they got 1 lakh only in the UG segment. Arts, commerce, humanities or so. I'm giving you different examples. These are very, only few companies, but different examples, diversity, girl coders, engineers, MBAs, as well as tech, right? And the UG. 800 plus brands work with us today, overall, right? And the problem that we are solving is that every company is eyeing top talent. And that is how they do. That's the biggest problem. Everybody wants to hire the IITs guys or the IIMs guys. However, they may not be able to do justice with their aspirations moving forward. And now companies are realizing that. Hence, what we are looking at is the right talent, and we are trying to connect the dots. So imagine, I won't name the companies, but let's say an ABC comes and they only want to hire and give huge packages. They might be able to hire the best guys across the best institutes. But another company who has the capacity to train people, and the company is giving maybe lower packages. But what they essentially need is people not in the 90th percentile, but maybe in the 60th or the 70th percentile, right? And they are not able to map or connect those dots. And I think that's what platforms like ours, Unstop, is doing. We are trying to connect those dots so that if XYZ company is not eyeing the top guys, we only connect them with the guys that are suitable to you, which works best for students, for the companies, as well as for the colleges, right? This is the kind of companies that we have worked with. We are industry agnostic. This is our clientele. All of them have worked with us in last 12 months. Some of them for engagements, some of them for hiring. And trust me, if you go back, check with your students, many of them would already be on Unstop, because today we have 5.6 million students on Unstop. And I'm saying these are registered students. Because on Unstop, they can browse through any opportunities free of cost without even needing a login. All of them are big brands who are here to engage with the right student. And let me tell you, now let's go to the unstoppable circle. If the ball is in your court, the biggest problem that I see at this point in time is that we have typically 4 things, right? Recruiters are there, employers, colleges are there. Both of them don't have reach to reach out to all colleges, all students, and vice versa, all companies, right? So reach is a problem. And then skill students, which is mapping the right skills between the students and the employers, right? How do you do that? Engagements. Engagements like what I have already shown, right? On Unstop, they can actually go and participate in those competitions, hackathon, quizzes or so, and eventually they will make a CV point for themselves, which will be handy for their interviews, as well as they may get hiring offers. And it's completely free. I'll be giving you few things which are free, few things which are paid. You take a call where you would want to push your students. The other is alumni sessions. I'm sure some of you would be doing it, but not all. Can you have your students get into the alumni? Can you actually very nicely use your alumni? Many of the colleges don't do that. I'm not saying all doesn't do, but many of you don't do that, right? The third is student buddy system. So I'm ex-Deloitte. I know for a fact that consulting companies like Deloitte, McKinsey, Bain, BCG, they help the candidates the participants who are yet to go into the final interviews being mentored by the partners or the senior leaders. What that does is that it basically plays two roles. One, students get to know more about the company. And the second is that they prepare them for the interview so that their chances of converting in that interview is much more. Eventually, consulting is all about the thought process, not so much about the technical skills, because they take care of you learning those technical skills. The other is practice, right? So all of you basically are good at imparting knowledge. But what happens when the knowledge is not practiced? And that's why, again, this is free, where your students can hop onto the platform while they're participating in engagements from Flipkart, Amazon, and others. They can actually practice to crack those engagements on the platform itself. And while they crack it, right, they have other things. I mean, don't go by the name. We say 5-day company in from one of the movies. But in 5 days, we can prepare them to get to know all these companies and what it takes to get into. And again, they can do it themselves. You don't have to play a role. You can just push the students onto the platform. They do it themselves. So then the onus is on them rather than any of us. And until now, there is no money to be paid, right? There are coding sprints where in 100 days, they can learn the basics of coding. And while they're learning it, they're competing with the others, right? The other aspect is basically mentorships. Now, this is very, very important. So imagine like a Uber-like model, okay, or an Airbnb-like model, where students can browse through multiple mentors, practitioners, who can help them either create their resume or take a mock interview or do anything that they would want, right? They can block their sessions, they can block their slots, and they pay them directly. So if you basically see, this is a top-rated mentor from Google. They have basically slots, 30-minute slots, 60-minute slots. Once you book it, a calendar will open up, you book a slot, and that's it. You're not playing any role. On Unstop, there are maybe 4,000 or I think 1,000 plus mentors, all practitioners. The problem today is that anybody who is roped in by you guys to prepare your students, they are not practitioners. And that is the biggest problem that they face, because students do not get to learn from the practitioners who have been there, done that. And that is what this is solving. These are the guys who are actually working in those companies. So imagine if Amazon ACE is happening, people who are participating, who move to the last level, can they have a 30-minute slot with the people who are working in Amazon? Can they help them ace that challenge? That's the whole idea, right? Then other is, again, learning from practitioners that I talked about. Both are sort of linked. And the last is placement prep. I'm sure many of the colleges rope in a few partners and companies who are helping you do placement prep, right? But again, the essence is that can the placement prep also be done by the practitioners, right? Unfortunately, again, that is not the case. The person who comes to your college and trains students is not a practitioner in most of the cases, not all, right? So their scope is limited to what they did 5 or 10 years back, and the things have changed. The generation changes every 3 years. So this is the unstoppable circle overall that I wanted to talk about, because this is in your hands, right? And at Unstop, we have 5.6 million students registered. We have about 130,000 opportunities that we have done in last 2 years. And we have 800 plus top companies out of those 5,000 that recruit from campuses and some others. And what we are now going in, and you will see on the platform, we are going global, where we might give Indian students an opportunity to engage and work with the companies abroad. The idea of Unstop is that can we be the global platform where any company, any size, in any country or the city of the world can engage with any student from any campus across the world. Right? So we are just connecting the dots. Anyways, boundaries have been basically broken by COVID. We are just leveraging that. And very soon you will see, let's say, Walmart US or maybe Apple, all these bigger firms doing engagements on Unstop for your students. Thank you so much. I'm happy to answer any queries if we have a couple of minutes. Do we have time or no? No? Thank you. Our booth is just around the corner. Anytime you feel you can come by and we'll be happy to chat.
So stay back, please. Thank you so much, sir, for briefing us about Unstop. And now we would be felicitating sir. So thank you so much for joining us here. Can we give both of them a big round of applause, please?